Hello everyone, my name is Matthew here with Crescent Bell doing a self-graded card review of two 1993-1994 checklist cards with featuring Michael Jordan from it's a Profiles 3D Upper Deck set. And these two cards kind of have a 3D look to it, some depth perception on the front of the card. We're looking at the back of the card, start on the back of the cards. And you can kind of see a little bit of basically the alignment and the centering to them. And the centering is great. I love the centering to these. But before we even get into the grades, let's do the quick disclaimer. We're not able to guarantee that the grades will cross over. Our grading companies are not able to guarantee that the grades will increase or decrease the monetary value of the card. I love the centering on these two. And that's the reason why I started to grade these. I have multiple copies of these cards. And then I was like, wow, the centering on this lines up perfectly. Let's grade them. But then one of the two cards, I believe it's the 109, it is got a crease in it. So I believe it falls into the surface category. Centering, I'm going to give the centering on these, it's probably like a 9.5 to a 10. Really happy with the centering. So let's just go ahead and start off with centering because it is one of the higher scores to the two cards. And I will just go ahead and do... Let me see if either one of them are slightly off. It's really nice to be able to see the back of the card here to see. Okay, so not dead on there, but I mean, I'll give this one a 9.5. Let's see this one real quick. That feels dead on. So we'll do, for 110, we'll do 10 for the centering. For the other one, we'll do 9.5. 9.5 for 109 and 10% right here. So the 109, the top card, for those that have seen the front of these, this is 109. So where I was hoping that these would be both a high grade, but this is good. There's going to be a crease and we're going to have to take down the surface score. So I found it whenever I was hitting this light at this angle, and I could see it on the front first. And I was like, okay, that's noticeable. And there's actually another kind of scratch here, scratch or indentation, more on the scratch side. I was real excited about these two cards and their centering, but it's a crease, and I've seen people use kind of like flattening devices to, I guess, remove some of these creases, but it happens again right here, and it's a good amount. I don't know if it totally detracts from the look of the card. I think it detracts some. So for the surface on 109, I'm probably going to go down to a 6.5. 6.5 for the surface. 109, 6.5. So there's going to be some different scores here between these two now. I prefer them where they both have similar scores. Then it kind of aligns with one another because they get sold as a package, both these cards. So I'm not seeing any surface issues on 110. 110 already has so 110 might be significantly higher grade and maybe sell it separately, but they sell them together. That's just how I do. Do need to polish them a little bit. Little bit of surface issue right here, so that takes it down to a 9. Anything else? Not too much, just some fingerprints that I need to clean up. So a 9 on surface for the 110. So 110 surface 9. All right, let's take a look at the edges and the corners and see how well that does. Just like a little bit of wear on the corners, not a lot that I'm seeing. Corner's really sharp there, so that's a nice sharp corner. Another nice sharp corner. A little bit of edge wear, so I could go down to probably like a 9.5 to a 9 on the edge on 109. Really nice corners, not seeing hardly any issues on the corners on 109, which is great. So corners doing probably a 10 on 109, or 9.5. We'll do, because it is a 30-year-old card plus. Corners 9.5 on 109, and we're saying edge is a 9. All right, let's go ahead and do 110 next. See if we can find any errors or if it is on the up and up. Taking a look here, really sharp, not seeing much wear there. I think this is the way the edges are cut on these. I can kind of see a little bit. There's just like a similar, that's a real sharp corner. So not really seeing much issues with the edges or the corners on 110. So edges, I think 9.5 is good. Corners 9.5. So we have 295s, 395s if we average out the 10 and the 9. So it's basically 9.5 is 110. All right, now we have to average out 109, and we have a 6.5 in there to throw everything in there, throw it all for a wrench. So the midpoint for between 6.5 and 9.5, you go down to 8.5. This goes up to 7.5, so it was 7. Is in between our we're averaging grades out right now. So we have a 7 between 6.5 and 9.5. Is that right? 7.5 would be even closer, right? 6.5 goes up to 7.5. Oh, 8. I'm sorry, 8. When we average out 6.5 and 9.5, the midpoint is 8. And then we have midpoint between 8 and 9 is a 8.5. And then a midpoint between 8.5 and another subgrade of 9.5 is a 9. Now with that crease, I'm going to probably drop it to an 8.5 and maybe even 8. We're going to pump it through Grok and see what it says. But a 9 with that kind of crease doesn't seem right, even though we are averaging our scores out. For the subgrades is how I came up to that 9 score. But thinking to myself, like, even though we are averaging our subgrades out, it definitely has not a 9 feel to it with that kind of crease. 8.5 to 8 with the other stuff being a more aligned. I think it's closer to like an 8 for me. But we'll pump it through Grok and we'll see what Grok says. We'll highlight the crease and we'll ask to make sure that it's noted in its subgrade. So Grok AI will cross-reference this and we'll take a look at that after a bit. But yeah, thank you for watching. Continue to watch. One of these two, the 110 ended up with a 9.5, which is great. But that, 110 had a 9.5 and the 109 ended up with possibly an 8, maybe even lower. We'll see what Grok says. Thank you for watching. Continue to watch.